Uh, Ravi sir, can I start?
Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir. Ravi sir, can I start, sir? Very good morning to one and all present here. Greetings from ISBM University. It is an honor for me to welcome the August participants joined today for the Faculty Development Program scheduled on 30th October 2021. I, Dr. Garima Diwan, Assistant Professor, ISBM University, welcomes you all. Extend my reverence and thanks to Dr. Arundhati Chakrabarti and Dr. Pooja Rai Pradhan for their esteemed participation in a burning theme having relevance in the contemporary context. I invite resource persons, mentors to deliberate on the theme, the relevance of NEC in new education policy. ISBM University Chura Garyaban has been established by the prolongation of ordinance by the Chhattisgarh under the section 26(5) of Chhattisgarh. Private universities. The university and it offers courses in undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs School of Law, School of Commerce and Management, School of Pharmacy, School of Information Technology, School of Library and Information Science, School of Journalism and Mass Communication. The courses are also approved by the regulatory bodies, namely Bar Council of India and Pharmacy Council of India. Government in Higher Education Department Government of Chhattisgarh accorded permission for the opening of courses by publishing it in its official gazette. I take this opportunity to invite Dr. Arundhati Chakrabarti to shed light on comprehensive approach on various criteria of NEC. As regards the credentials of Dr. Anundhati Chakrabarti, she is an academician with a quest of knowledge and, mentored institutions for NEC accreditation. She did her PhD from National Institute of Technology. She has more than 12 years of experiences in academics and academic administrations. Her views on various platforms in domain of governance, democracy, Indian value system are some her views with us. Madam, please.
A very good morning to all of you. I hope I'm audible clear.
Yes, ma'am, you
Am
are
I clear?
audible.
Okay, thank you. So, a very good morning to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Garima, for that warm welcome, for those words of yours. And before I start, I again would like to thank ISBM University for giving us the platform where we can share our views on the various aspects and the fields of accreditation, national education policy, okay, and outcome based education, which is actually the demand of the current situation. Okay. So, to proceed with it, uh, I'll just require the permission to share. Shall I share it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Just- Okay, so I see here 12 of the participants have joined. So before directly going into the presentation, okay, see, we all are in an online mode of interaction only. So it's always better that instead of a monologue, we can have it in a dialogue format. So for that, I require participation from the participants and too, so that we can have some ideas, okay, what the person at the other end they are thinking, what they want to know, okay, so that we can make the maximum out of this session. Okay, so with respect to for that, I would like to post a first a link, okay, in the chat box here. Okay, I'm posting a link in the chat box. So I request the participants they can directly go to this link, okay, and give their views upon it. I'm also sharing the screen where you can see the results over it. So is the link visible and available to all the participants? Dr. Garima, can you please confirm that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible to all participants.
Yes, and I see that someone has raised the hand from Education and Motivation Challenge channels. So, do they want to ask something? One raised hand is there.
Namrata, ma'am. Ma'am, I think so.
Okay,
It is by mistake only.
okay, fine, no issues. No, at any point of time while means we are discussing or I'm present forthing my views. So at that point of time, if anyone has any query, please feel free to unmute yourself and interrupt. Okay, so that it's interesting too, because unless and until there are questions and discussions, the session can't be interesting, and especially in this online mode when we are just seeing with our laptops. So I request the participants to please share. So I've got only one poll result over here. I think you'll be able to view the screen there. Yes, the screen is visible, but only one answer. Can we have? I can see here around 11, 12, 16 participants are there. Okay, for Mukesh sir, I'll just post again the link. Though I got your answer here, sir, but still it will be helpful if you can. So in that itself, you can give your poll results. Can we have some more inputs, please? Okay, so two responses are there. Okay, I'm getting slowly and steadily some polls over there. Good. I could see three. So please just don't make it ki we have for the certificate that we'll be getting a certificate and all. Let's attend this webinar, take and make the maximum output of it, outcome of it. So that's what is outcome based education all about. Whatever we are doing, the outcome with respect to it. Okay, so the outcome of respect to it, that is very, very important to understand, to get into the feeling of, the outcome based education. Okay, so out of the three participants, which I can say they have participated, okay, and if anyone is not able to present in the link, if you want to type in your answers in the chat box, that you're also most welcome to do so. So what we can see over here, I still did not get a no over here. So that's really appreciable, because so everyone feels that accreditation does add value to the educators, okay, as well as to the students. Okay, so in both the respect, so for the overall education system, accreditation in the other format, see, for accreditation starting from the school level to the college to the university, each and every one has or the other different forms of accreditation. Okay, like for when you go for the universities for the various acts, okay, like you have 12F and all those acts of UTC. For in your means professional courses, you have various AICT approvals. So if you are affiliated to any university, you have to fulfill the norms of the university. So in some form or the other, they are all forms of accreditation. Okay, they are all forms of accreditation, different forms of accreditation. Okay, in different questions and answers, that's what they are asking for. Okay, so now with that, I'll just share another link too. Okay, I'm just presenting here another link too. So this is just, I'm trying to set let's to understand your views. Just let's see key. It's I've stopped presenting. I request the participants to go to the second link which I posted just now. Okay, and enter whatever words you feel like when you go for this accreditation. Means whenever someone speaks about accreditation or education, okay, so what words just you feel like it clicks your mind. Okay, so just let us all of us know about each other. Okay, so I'll present my screen there also, so a beautiful word cloud will come out of it when you're sharing your views there. That's very interesting first answer, I would say. That's a very interesting first answer. Yes, definitely it's one of the, a major part of the accreditation purpose. So we got another paperwork. That was the first answer which I could see on the word cloud. You can enter up to 3 words. Okay, so if some participants are joining now also, I'm again posting the link for them. And for them, I'm again requesting you can please visit the link which I've posted in the chat box, and you can present your views with respect to whatever words it does at first come to your mind when you think of the word accreditation, or someone lets you know what accreditation is. So please, I could get some words here. Quality assurance. Okay, that's a very big word. Organization, definitely. It's an accreditation for all. Grading, yes, we get gradings, different grading. It's a standard. Yes, so based on that standard, so you can say NAC, NBA with respect to Indian system if I feel, because there are other international organizations also, okay, who give you various accreditation. With respect to it, it sets your standard when we want to compare the various institutions, okay, who are delivering the same set of courses. So the students, the parents, that means the important stakeholders, they can find it out, okay, which institution is good for me. Okay, so with respect to overall these points, we can have an idea, we can have a benchmark. Okay, yes, it gives us a standard. Okay, so we could see some mandate. Okay, recognition, definitely, that's again a very good thought. We get recognition. Now, the students get recognition when in her mark sheet is reflected that, or when that student is going for placement or higher studies, it's like you come to know that it's about the various means from the places. It gives them the other person or the employer an idea from where, from which area, okay, these students has graduated. And it's not only for the student, I would say the same for the faculty members, okay, because for the faculty members it's always a lifelong learning process, because until and unless the faculty or the staff members, they don't keep on upgrading themselves, it's really difficult. Okay, so with words are coming up, action. Definitely, action is to be taken. So when you do something, definitely it has got an action. Okay. So what I will be taking through here in this session is we will be looking into the various aspects of NAC accreditation. We had some idea yesterday about a little bit about outcome-based education, what it is, then how the different, what accreditation, how it connects together, all the various things which needs to be done. So getting into much more specific, so I will be saying this time, okay, what is NAC accreditation, okay, because that is much more. NAC accreditation for which all places, for which all universities, okay, affiliated colleges, it can be open to all. Earlier NAC accreditation, it was there mainly for the non-professional courses, but nowadays it's from the last few years, okay, they have changed their approach, and they have made it open. Okay, they have set a benchmark even for the professional courses or the professional societies. Okay, so I thank you for your participation. Thank you, participants, because without your answers this would not have been. So I could see an improvement over here. See, last when I closed the poll result or I stopped sharing it, the answers which I got were only 4, but now before ending this slide I could see that 7 of the participants have answered it. So thank you for that. Okay, so I'll just stop sharing this and I'll be moving in onto the presentation. I hope the presentation is visible. Dr. Garima, if you are there, can you please confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope the presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. So it will be like, as I told you, it will be in details about the comprehensive approach, okay, for various criteria of NAC. So we'll be trying and seeing into some details about the various processes of NAC, and then into the various criteria of NAC. What are they mainly looking into, or what are they trying to mainly find out from it? So starting with it, you can see there's oranges over here. So it purposely, chose this template to be rather be more specific, because as we saw in the answers of the word cloud also, some person wrote it as another paperwork, but and some person wrote it as again for a mandate, it's for quality assurance. So we see a mixed approach, and it's always a mixed feeling for the faculty. So it's like a khatta meetha approach for here. Okay, so that's what these oranges are for. So kuch khatta, kuch meetha, the process of accreditation. So let's see into the details of what does this NAC mainly have a vision for, because that's what we mainly start into. Okay, what is a vision of it, and with that is a vision that we want to achieve in a period of 5 years or 10 years down the line. Now, in order to have this vision, we must have some mission statements. Mission statements means some of those statements which will help us to achieve the vision. Okay, so what does NAC wants to have their vision is, they want to define the element of higher education by combining the self and external quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance initiatives. So the initiatives which will be sustaining, so everything in a combination pack. Okay, So how do we achieve that vision? Okay, so by the first mission statement, see, periodic assessment, like various cycles of NAC. So it's not only once or twice we do it, but there are various subsequent cycles of NAC, and they are continuously upgrading those, they're changing it, they're learning, they are also learning. So as we are learning, the NAC, the accreditation body, they are also learning. Okay, so mainly it says about the various academic processes, then quality in the teaching and learning, okay, and research in higher education, because research is not only for the students but research in terms of the faculty members, because as I told you earlier, until and unless we as students, as faculties, if we do not keep on upgrading ourselves, then it will be really difficult for us to reciprocate the same to our students. Okay? Then for the next mission, we have self-evaluation, accountability, autonomy. See, whatever we are doing, we are self-evaluating. Now, when you see, we'll be starting with the various processes of NAC. You see, whenever we start writing with the SSR and start filling up the various criteria, the first point which they ask for is write an executive summary about your institute or about your university. That's what they first ask for. Okay, and after that they ask for do a SWOT analysis, so strength, weakness, opportunities and challenges. So this four criteria, you have to do it on your own. You have to find it out. So what are your strengths of the university or the institution? What are your weaknesses? So from those weaknesses, what are the various challenges you can face? Okay, and what are the various opportunities? Okay, so it's a self-evaluation process kind of. Okay, then it can help you get autonomy in a period, okay, depending upon your grade. And then innovations in hierarchy, like is yesterday also it was told key, as you must have seen or as you must have read in the national education policy, in a period of a few years, we are looking into a field where each and every institute or your universities, they are an autonomous body, okay, where they can decide on their own what is best for their students, which who are our main stakeholders. So then again, quality research studies as a fourth mission, consultancy and training programs. So it's not like that keep they are saying that you withdraw or you take the your incentives and your salary only from the institution, but you can cater your knowledge to the other industries, to the other institutes, wherever you would like to give your services to, and in turn have a consultancy and in turn grow your knowledge. Okay, we can even collaborate it with other stakeholders of higher education. So different stakeholders, starting from the alumni, industry, different universities. So two university, one institution. So any combination and collaborations, the MOUs, anything would like to have, you can do it for the quality evaluation and promotion. Okay. So so uh, let's see how the mainly processes to start with. Okay, so when we are starting with the accreditation process, there are many questions as to from when do we start, from where do we start. Okay, so let's see what are the various processes when you go first for this accreditation of NAC, and then we'll be seeing into the various different criterias of it and what they are looking into and why they are asking for it. Okay. Yeah. So yes. So first and foremost, now earlier the process of NAC was different. Okay, you had their questionnaire set was there. You had to prepare the questions were there, the answers you had to prepare, which were mainly long answers, descriptive answers, and you had to get the hard copy bound and send it to the Bangalore office. But now the process from 2017 onwards, it has completely changed. It has completely transformed into the online mode. So they are also using ICT to its best which they can. So for that, each and every institute needs to first go for their registration on the NAC portal, that is nac.gov.in. You have to register the your institution or the university over there, which is a one time process. Okay, which is a one time process even for those colleges and the universities who had done the NAC earlier as per the older cycles, but still now to fill their yearly report, to have a communication with NAC office, you have to do the HEI registration. Next, you'll be going for the IIQA submission. Okay, so this is an institutional qualification criteria. Okay, this IIQA asks about the establishment of the institute, what is the intake, how many faculty members are there, how many staff members are there, how many of them are of what type of gender ratio is there. Okay, so all those things. Do you have an IQAC? Okay, so internal quality assurance cell. Do you have that? So if you have that, which are the do they have the regular meetings? What are the minutes of meetings? So all those things in details. If you are, and again, as I told you, university or a degree college, then do you have the certificates of 12F, 12G? So all those things in details need to be mentioned for the IIQA. Next, after IIQA, you'll be going for the SSR submission. Okay, so which is self-study report. Okay, SSR full form stands for the self-study report submission over there. So for this SSR submission, okay, so after IIQA submission, they will be reviewing, will seeing in the timeline also in the next processes. So they will be verifying it within a span of, once you submit it, so they will be verifying it for a period of around 14 to 15 days, and within 15 days you will be getting a reply about your IIQA acceptance or whether there is any query. Okay, and then once they say that the SSR is IIQA is accepted, then within a period of 45 days you would have to submit the SSR. Now this SSR, in contrary to which was the previous concept, now where you had the descriptive part only, but now they have combined the part of your descriptive as as the objective, I'd like to say. So it's divided into two parts. One is QNM, quantitative matrices, and another is QLM, what is qualitative matrices. Okay, so and for this SSR and for the peer team visit to visit your campus, you need to score 30% marks. Okay, 30% marks in the QNM. QNM means mainly the tabulated values. Okay, the tabulated values, how many courses are there, what is the syllabus, what is the placement. So we'll be seeing then those again. So with respect to those numbers, okay, you need to have 30% score for the peer team visit to happen. So there are two stages. One is this IIQA to SSR, and another one is this SSR to QNM. And then when you score 30% in this QNM, then you will be having a peer team visit, or the members will visit your campus. Okay, so PTV process, it is known as a peer team visit process. And from then, when the peer team members visit to your campus, then they will be looking into the descriptive section, or the QLM, or the qualitative matrices section that has been put forth by you. They will be checking their proofs and everything in details. And then we are having your, after the peer team visit, okay, you will be having your grade declaration process in another period of 15 days. Okay, so this is the overall process. Okay, starting from the registration to the grade declaration process. Now we can look into some of the further minor processes, okay, like SSR timeline and all those things. So how do you do the registration form? Okay, first, the registration, how do you do it? You fill the registration form. We just ask about the basic details. What's your contact number, mail ID, and all those details. So this accreditation approved. NAC verifies it, approves it, and once they approve it, they will be giving you on the registered mail ID. They will be sending you the activation login credentials. Okay, and using those credentials in the future, the HEI can access the portal. So all the queries, everything is stored at one place. And this accreditation needs to be done before cycle 1 for the new institutes or the university who would like to go for it. So I hope everything is fine. It's audible to everyone. Anyone wants to ask anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Now, how does this IIQA submission process occur? Okay, so first the IIQA documents and the support documents, the approvals and all those things needs to be uploaded. They have mentioned it in clarity, like the minutes of the meetings of the IQAC also, when the IQAC was formed, their letter. So all those things in details need to be filled and uploaded. Then the IIQA fees is paid, which is around 25,000 plus GST. Okay, and all the money transaction also happens in the online mode. So, and then you fill the IIQA, you pay the fees, and you do the submit. Okay, they review it, so they verify it and submit. And if they are having any queries, again through the portal itself, they will be writing a mail. You will be receiving the queries through the portal, and again in the portal you will be submitting your clarification. You have to do this within a period of 2 to 3 days there, and IIQA verification and acceptance. After that, they will be giving you. So if they are not satisfied with your responses, they will again reject the IIQA. Okay, and with the same IIQA fees, you can apply up to 3 times within a period of 1 year. Up to 3 times means once you have already applied in this, and after they reject it, you can do up to 2 cycles. Okay, 2 times you can again apply for it with all the clarifications and their doubts corrections. That can be done. Now, how do the so once we see it now, once now the IIQA is accepted. Okay, so that process takes around 15 days. So once they do it, so now you start preparing with the SSR. Okay, that's how they say it, but it's always advisable that around 90% of the work should be completed before filing the IIQA, because the collection of the data, the writing of the information, along with the other duties, it takes quite a considerable process. And so, and while going for the SSR and all these things, you'll see that for maximum cases, mainly for the QNN, okay, mainly for the tabulated data, they ask the data for a period of 5 years. So digging up those data, if you do, if you had it, so documenting it, because along with it you have to submit the proofs also. So that's quite a cumbersome process. So for that, it's always advisable that around 90% of the SSR of the work should be done before going for this IIQA submission. Then you, with the documents collected, everything done, with everything prepared, you fill the SSR and upload the data files as per the template. Now, as I told you, the QNMs, the quantitative matrices. The quantitative matrices, the format, the Excel formats, those are already available on the NAP website. Okay, they are there in the NAP website, or there you can have even the templates available in the manual also. So those you have to prepare in the Excel as per their format, otherwise they will again do reject it. So you have to prepare those as per the template, okay, and then upload it within those particular criteria where they have asked for it. Okay, so various profile matrices related question, they will be supporting data as per NAC template. Minimum 50% students data is mandatory. This I'll explain what is this 50% student data. I'll just tell you. Now, after you fill up the SSR, okay, and along with the data first, so everything is complete, you pay the first installment. So 3 times you have to make the payment. One payment is during IIQA. The next payment is while you are submitting your SSR. So 50% of the SSR fees you'll be submitting while for the SSR, and 50% before the peer team visit is there. Okay, so the first SSR fees, installment fees is paid here. And there is a provision of non-applicable matrices, but these non-applicable matrices are only there for the affiliated colleges of with giving conferring UG or PG degree. Okay, so for those means which they feel that these are not applicable for us, or we can opt out of this matrices, so those can be done. But from criteria 2 and criteria 7, that opt out option is not given. We cannot opt out of this. Now, bibliometry data collection from Enflibinet. Excuse me. So here what happens is ki, yeah, whatever data with respect to, with respect to publication and all those data are given over here, they have another body. Okay. If it led from there, they will be sufficing with that, or they will be verifying it from there. And simultaneously, once you submit it, what will happen simultaneously? SSS process means student satisfaction survey process. This will also be generated along with it. Okay, so this SSS process, so this where it is mentioned 50%. So means the 50% of your student, okay, data should be uploaded in the format given, with their enrollment ID, their email ID, their Aadhaar card number, the phone numbers, everything you need to upload it there. And for universities, they say that around minimum the survey should be submitted by around 10% or 500 students, whichever is less, either 10% of the total students or either 500 students, whichever is less. And for affiliated colleges and all, for them they say it is either 100 students or 10% of the total number of students. So they should submit the student satisfaction survey process. And simultaneously, you'll be having DVV process. What is this DVV? This is data verification and validation process. So what happens here is, once you submit the SSR, the descriptive part, they will definitely not check. That depends upon the peer team visit people, expert committee. But here, the various data which you have submitted, maybe with respect to placement, with respect to courses, with respect to the various events, guest lecture, workshops, projects, all those things, this DVV team, okay, will be going through it. So this three process happens simultaneously. And whenever this DVV people, they will be having a query, they will be reverting back to you through the portal. Okay? So SSR, so what you do when they submit the query within a period of again 10 to 15 days, you answer those queries and they will be submitting it. Okay. Now for this, as I told you, data verification and validation process. So how does this happen? So this DVV team, through the proof, whatever, for example, you have said you have a placement of around 200 students, for example. Okay. So for those 200 students, you need to upload their offer letters or their appointment letters. You need to upload them. Okay, so they will be going through all those documents, and if any deviation they find out, they will be asking queries from your end. Then to the HEI, they'll be submitting their report. Now, within a period of 15 days, you should submit the clarification to the DVV. So you respond it, then they update the data. Okay, they accept the data, they will be again writing back to you whether they have accepted it or whether they have rejected it. So then again, after you do that, DVV will again go for a second level verification. The second level verification process was not there earlier, but now they have updated this section. Earlier it was only one level verification. And then you will be having the final report submission to NAC. So after this process, they will be letting you know whether you have qualified for the 30% of marks. Okay, that means total 1000 marks. On basis of total 1000 marks you are being evaluated. So out of those 1000 marks, 300 marks you should get, okay, through this process of DVV. If you are failing to meet that, again the peer team visit won't be there. Okay. Now, how this QNMs, okay, that is your quantitative matrices, how they are evaluated for pre-qualification. Okay, that means for the peer team visit to happen. So we have this QNM evaluation. So the first step is they will be computing this QNM percentage. Okay, they will be computing it out. Then they'll be verifying the eligibility for it. They'll be finding out the marks, calculating it in details. Okay, and they'll be submitting it to the executive body for their decision. And they'll be setting whether your pre-qualification status is passed or not. Now, this is a revised accreditation format. Okay, means what has happened, we are all aware that NAC has got 7 criteria. Okay, now the 7 criteria are divided, okay, into various indicators. Key indicators are there. Okay, KI stands for this key indicators. So what are the key indicators within the 7 criteria? For example, the first criteria that also we'll be seeing in details. So those 7 criteria are the first criteria is about the curriculum development. Okay, so those curriculum development is again divided into subparts. So those subparts, important points are known as the key indicators. Now this, how do these key indicators are divided? These key indicators are divided into the QLM. There's a qualitative where you write down the description, and into QNM, the tabulated one, as per the template given by NAC. Okay, so you can see for the universities, it is maximum here. Okay, the number of, if you add this 36 for 79 means in how many sections you have to add the data. It is maximum for the universities, then for the autonomous colleges, then for the affiliated UG and PG. Okay, so here the universities, because the universities mainly the criteria 1, that is about the curriculum, criteria 2 a little bit of the teaching learning, and criteria 3, this is a bit different. The other criteria are almost the same for the affiliated colleges, for the UG and PG, and for autonomous also. For example, for the research section, okay, universities have got 250 marks, whereas the affiliated colleges, they have got only 130 to 120 marks over there. Okay, so there is a difference between that. So what are the various criteria, so which we will be looking into details one after the another. First one is the curricular aspects. Okay, second is teaching, learning, and evaluation, so how we teach it. Third is research, innovations, and extensions. Fourth is infrastructure and learning resources. Okay, student support and progression, fifth criteria, governance, leadership, and management. And the seventh one, okay, is the institutional values and best practices. Now you can see all of this, them are connected to a particular tree. Okay, they are giving into a total bark over here. So all these things we have to always look into this picture, though they are divided into different criterias, but we have to get a holistic or a complete idea of it. All these criteria, excuse me, all these criteria, they are interconnected with each other, because until and unless you have a well defined and developed curriculum, that you have to, how are you delivering it through the way, through your process of teaching and learning. Once you are imparting the teaching and learning process, how the evaluations are being done. Okay, now along with this teaching and learning, what else extension activities are being done for the students, for their outreach activity, social outreach, research and innovations. Mainly MAC is focusing here upon the faculties. Okay, so when the faculties get more into higher education themselves, they will be imparting the teaching and learning in a better manner to the student. Now, what the institution or the university is providing, what facilities they are providing in terms of infrastructure and learning resources. Then other than the infrastructure, what other student support mechanism is there? What about your placement cell? What about the scholarship? What about your alumni connect? So those things are mentioned in criteria 5. Then with those things, student support, infrastructure and all, how is your governance being looked into? How the college or the university is functioning? How, what sort of leadership you are having, whether it is a participative or not? Okay, whether decentralization is happening. So all those things are looked into here. And this criteria, institution values, so it looks mainly into nowadays, you know, the one of the means what are the various sustainable models. Okay, what are the various sustainable models, and what are your best practices and distinctiveness, which makes you different from the other universities and colleges. So first criteria, that is your curricular aspects here. So as I told you, the key indicators, so the first column here, you can see it for the key indicators. Here we are having universities, autonomous colleges, and then affiliated colleges. So this affiliated can have UG and the PG courses. So again, they are divided as per the courses. And you can see here this U and this A. Okay, so This is for your, because universities will be designing the curriculum and they will be developing it. So this is applicable only for the universities and autonomous colleges. And because affiliated colleges have to follow the norms laid down on the university, so for them the important part is with respect to the things present given by the university, how they are delivering it, how they are planning it, how flexible they are. Okay, so those will come into here. Now, in addition to the things which are laid down in the curriculum, what extra or what add-on things are given to the students, so that comes in the academic flexibility part. Then, as academic flexibility is more for the universities than the colleges, so for them the marks allotted is more compared to the affiliated ones. Then for the curriculum enrichment, how you're enriching in different types of, not only with respect to, again, for the teaching and learning, but other things also. And then we are having the feedback system, because from the feedbacks we'll be knowing what corrective actions we need to take on further. So let's see them one by one. So curriculum delivery or curriculum for framing the OBE. Okay, so outcome based education over there. So, and how are you planning the curriculum? Because, so with respect to the universities, when we speak of, so with respect to them, they have to define, okay, what is the vision, mission, what will be the various program outcomes. Okay, for example, they have got different programs. Okay, they have arts, they have science, commerce, and within that, there's different branches of them: biology, zoology, physics, chemistry, sociology. So different branches there. Another, they will be having professional courses also, like they can have MBA, they can have engineering. So for them, what are the program outcomes? Okay, means at the end of it, what the graduates will learn from them. Okay, what will be their outcome? So with respect to that, how you're designing your courses. Okay, so what subjects you're putting into, what is the content of those? Okay, and from those content, what are your course outcomes? Means, suppose a content is there, suppose the topic of chemistry is there. Okay, and within this topic of chemistry for the first year, suppose they're learning 5 or 6 modules. So from each one of those modules or each one of these unit, after studying the unit, what will be the outcome, or what will the student be learning? That is about the course outcome. Okay, so we can't go much detail into it, the time constraint is there. So for that, so how are you designing it? That is for the part of the university. For the affiliated ones, so how are you planning to deliver it with respect to the timeline given? Okay, or what revisions are you supporting with respect to it? Then how are your, if you are a part of the university, okay, so how you're doing it with respect to the teachers involvement, who all are doing it. And in affiliated, what is important is who are the various members, those are representing in the university body. Okay, so that you get a feedback from them. Then here, as I told you about the academic flexibility, so value added or add-on courses. So there can be numerous value added or add-on courses. Now, what do we mean is value added or add-on courses? For example, a student of a particular branch or particular section is learning, for example, for physics. If a student is upgrading to with that respect to that of physics only, so that is a value added course. Now, if a student of physics is learning some other topic of, maybe of chemistry or math, some different topic from it, or one section of engineering is learning a different topic from the other section of engineering, so that becomes an add-on. Okay, so it can be same sort of courses but different names to it. Then, as I already told you, the faculty's participation at the university. So whether they are setting the syllabus, whether they are evaluating, how many of them are as the university syllabus setter. Okay, so all those participative activities at the university level. Then how many students, because this is flexibility, so other than that, you will be having courses on your entrepreneurship. Okay, then entrepreneurship, skill development. Okay, so in various aspects you'll be going into these courses. So in addition to those, so where they are going for the project work, the internship, the field work, and those, and at the end the feedback. So because unless and until you take the feedback from the various stakeholders. Stakeholders means you'll be having feedback from the students who are our main stakeholders, from the faculty members, from your students, from their parents even. Okay, so all the feedbacks from these people, they will be giving you an idea about how you should be framing your syllabus. Okay, how you should be framing your syllabus, or how you should be taking your corrective. So just collecting again the feedback is not important. The analysis of the feedback from the various suggestions given, along with the suggestions, what are various marks they have given to, on what scales you have been weighted. So with respect to that, and based on the corrective actions. Okay. I hope the participants are there and they are listening. It's going on fine, right, Dr. Garima?
Yes,
And
it's
there?
going fine. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Because I hope sometimes connections, whenever you are, and I'm in a presentation mode, I don't know whether it's to be connected or due to the connection interruption is there. So it's
No,
just
ma'am, it's going
confirming.
fine. It's going fine. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you, thank you. So continuing with it, with the next criteria, teaching, learning, and evaluation. Okay, so with respect to this teaching, learning, and evaluation is one of the most important criteria. Whether you can see enrollment profile means what is the intake and how much admissions are happening. Okay, and what are the marks on basis of which they are the students are being admitted. Then student diversity, whether you're looking into the different states, different sections of the society. Then the teaching and learning process, how you're taking into the, how you're delivering the teaching and learning process, means again here you will be having your program outcome, course outcome, their calculations and all those. Now what are their teacher profile and quality, whether the teachers are going for their higher degrees, pursuing higher degrees, what is their experience. Okay, all those things in details. Then how, based on this teaching and learning process, how you're evaluating it. Okay, and through the evaluation, what are reforms you are bringing into the process of evaluation. Student performance and learning outcome means what is the attainment. So once you have defined your program outcomes, your course outcomes, then you have got your results, and from this results section you'll be coming to the student performance, where you will be at calculating the attainment. Okay, maybe you have set a target, and from there you will be calculating it. Okay, how much have you attained. Okay, like results, we know evaluation 100% marks is always the target. Okay, then from that how much we have scored, so that is what will be coming in 2.6, and this is 2.7, which is student satisfaction and survey. So like I told you, in that particular flow chart, 50% of students, so the students who are enrolled with you, you must be giving here the data of at least minimum 50%, and it is always advised that you give the 100% students data over here, because as per the criteria, the student satisfaction survey should be given for case of university 500 student or 10%, whichever is less, and for this affiliated colleges it should be given by 10% or 100 students, whichever is less. Okay, so we should not be filtering out the data at our end. So our entire data should be submitted to that, so that you always have a more approach. Because what happens is here, the students will because when you're submitting the email IDs and the phone numbers, they will be mailing the survey directly to their account. Okay, directly they'll be getting the survey links in their profiles, so they have to give it through them. So it's always, so you have to meet the requisite number of surveys from the students. So it's always advisable, like I told you, you should give the 100% data to the student, to the NAC team. Now for the teaching and learning process. Okay, so what do we have here? As I told you, the student admission. Okay, how many are your seats, and how many is your, what is your admitted student, that ratio. Depending upon that, how is your student to teacher ratio. Okay, because so these, you can see, these are directly values, and these mainly stand for your QNM. So the quantitative matrices over here play a more important role. Then how you're going into the quality of teaching and learning processes. Like, this pandemic has brought the teachers into a drastic change. Okay, to change their method of teaching and learning. use of ICT was there previously also, but now it is playing a major and an important role, which has become the main process of delivering the lectures. Okay, I'm thinking, so in that, how can you make it interesting? How can you do the various things? What are different topics you're choosing into? Okay, so all those, what are new things can you teach the students? In what different formats you can do it? So with respect to it, all those details, okay, like whether you're doing any extra activities like flipped classroom approach, then other than that, the mind mapping technique, then think, pair, share. Okay, what are collaborative teaching methods? So what are different types of pedagogical initiatives you're taking? So you need to address it in this section. Then mentoring processes. Okay, the mentoring process, which is again a major section. Okay, so if the students, because when they are in the campus, the students becomes the teacher's responsibility or the entire institution responsibility. So whether you have provided any platform where the student can go and discuss with a particular teacher in any other aspect, whether they want to, in addition to academics, whether they can have the discussion about if they're facing some problem, maybe at the personal level itself. So whether the counseling facility is available. So all those needs to be checked in this mentoring process. Okay, whether they are facing any difficulty in any academic process or personal level, all the things can be addressed. They can share their views. Okay, then profile and quality, like earlier mentioned also, whether facilities for your, more for the PhD, what are they giving? How many faculties have completed their PhD during the period of 5 years? Because suppose your NAC is for this year, then the previous 5 years data is also included there. So those years data, whether during this assessment period, your faculties have gone for their accreditation in terms of PhD or any other degree. Okay, D literature or other. So in terms of experience also, so how many experienced faculty you are retaining, all those aspects. Then internal assessment. Okay, so always a part of the examination. So this comes the evaluation process now. So the process of evaluation, it can be differentiated into internal assessment and external or the university assessment. So in that case, how you're doing, how you're keeping the transparency of the internal assessment. And if a student is having any grievances, okay, means favoritism is done for few students, for others is not. So if those things are happening, the allegations are with respect to those, how is your grievance redressal process for the same? Then based on their result, you can have a result analysis in detail. From the result analysis, the attainment process can have, means how much was your target and how much you have achieved. And then is your student satisfaction survey. So I'm moving it a bit fast now. It's already 11:23. For the criteria 3, which is research, innovation, and extension. So as I told you, universities, they're having 250 marks. For others, it's less, it's 120 around. 20 to 100 marks around. Now, so we can see how the research facilities are there, what are how you're mobilizing it for the research, then what ecosystem you're giving it, whether you're having an incubation center, whether you're having an entrepreneurship cell. So with respect to it, then based upon those, whatever publications you're doing, okay, and whether you're receiving any awards for your exemplary performance there. Then what are various consultancy based upon your knowledge, whether you're catering even into the industry. Then the various extension with the social outreach activities through your, maybe through the clubs, which are student bodies which you're having there, and the collaborations with industries as well as with other, educational institutions. So first and foremost is availability of resource facility, whether the institute or the university has created a resource facility, okay, whether the seed money is given, is presented by the university, okay, the autonomous body. Then what is the financial support you have been giving for the higher studies or PhD, okay, whether PhD students are available in the campus in terms of JRF, SRF, research associate and all. Based upon this, whether the research people, they're being recognized by international bodies, even whether funding is there from the international body, national body, government and non-government bodies. So here the industry can come, Okay, any others small startups, whether they are giving you any funding for for giving them some consultancy or some product development. And for the government you have DST, then your Mines body, MHRD, so various UGC is there, so different bodies and functions are there. How much is the funding received per teacher, whether incubation center is there. Okay, so whether you're giving a place for their startups to grow in your campus, just not a place, in addition to it, what all facilities you're giving to them, okay, at a very nominal cost, how ecosystem you have developed, what are your policies. Okay, then for entrepreneurship, IPR, hub, workshops, seminars, so how many industrial people are involved in your system for these various activities of entrepreneurship, IPR. Okay, how many guest lecture you're having from industry, so all those are mattering over here. Then whether you have a policy and code of research, is policy is laid down for research or not. Then if you're getting like in exemplary performance, whether you're getting any award with respect to it, whether you're publishing any patent for its commercialization. Then if suppose a patent is not being published, then what are the, whether you're publishing our papers in UGC journal. Now this is to be very carefully checked by the faculty members. Earlier the UGC list keep on changing, so whenever the list is being published, please say that the research papers are being published in the UGC journal only, which can be found on the UGC website. And even if you're having books and chapters in edited volumes, and not only UGC journal, for your those journals should be indexed, they should be in Scopus or Web of Science, so that this data is being checked by your Internet. Then citations also, how many citations per paper you're having. The affiliations is very important. Consultancy, okay. Then the extension activity, like from the various bodies, you must be having NSS or NCC. Then you can have a women's cell, you can have your Eco Club, you can have YRC, that's Youth Red Cross. So there are many aspects, okay, where you can have different bodies, and from there you can go for the various activities of the students. So they see into the social aspect as well. And collaborative activities and the functional MOUs. Functional MOUs means just signing the MOU and keeping it aside is not sufficient. Activities with this, whether internship, what is the aim, what is the objective of those, okay, need to be presented very well. Now, infrastructure, so physical facility, so adequate infrastructure should be there. Okay, so means many number of classrooms are required. So those classrooms, okay, with respect to the ICT facility, enabled classrooms are there, or smart classrooms are there, and all. For games, for the recreational, what indoor and outdoor facilities is being given. Okay, so what all games are available in there, whether they have a cricket pitch, whether they have a football court. Okay, so what all facilities they are having. So as smart classroom or LMS, the learning management system, okay, so they can have the ease of access of their learning materials. And expenditure is how much is spent for all these, okay, and even for the maintenance. Whether you are in the library, one very important part, whether you are having an integrated library management system, whether that can be maintained in an online mode, whether OPAC system is there, student can know which books are available, okay, which books the institute has subscribed to, all those things. So how many e-books, e-journals, what is the expenditure of the library, then how much library is being used by the students and the faculties, okay. So they come to know that just having the facility is not sufficient, but its usage should also be there. And whether there's a continuous with us, because the IT upgradation is nowadays going on in a very fast pace in the outer world. So whether the same is being followed by the institutions, so that is the point of checking. Whether you're having a Wi-Fi facility, what is the availability of the internet bandwidth, okay, and what is you having all this is very good. But the next thing is, how do you maintain this, okay? What is your procedure for the maintenance of it, okay? So that is what about your criteria 4. Then criteria 5, student support and progression. So what else support with respect to scholarship, with respect to your counseling. So institute, whether the institute is giving any scholarship in addition to the government scholarships available. So with terms of the competitive examinations, okay, so you from UG to PG courses, whether you're giving any support for those courses, if the student is a PG, whether they are going for a PhD, so what support they are getting for the various competitive examination like GRE, TOEFL, GATE, MAT. So all those examinations, whether you're giving a platform for them to study, and along with it, what is the qualification, how many are qualifying out of it. Okay, so and what are the various other skill enhancement initiatives you're taking, okay, in terms of your whatever facilities, other facilities like computer center, your yoga, meditation, all those things. If the student has any grievances, okay, not examination grievances like it was in criteria 2, but these are other grievances, so where they can go, where they need to go, okay. What are the placement statistics, okay, how many students are placed is a very important part. So this and this together you'll be getting it. How many students are going to higher education, progress into higher education, then whether the students, you have given all these facilities, so what is the output, whether the students won any awards in the sports or the cultural activities, okay, and what are the various students bodies, okay, that are available in your campus, and what is the way or the scope of functioning. And then at the end, after the student is graduated, so whether you're still connected with the alumni, what sort of support you're giving to the alumni, how your alumni is contributing to the campus, that's again a very important aspect. Now this lets us to was the how the institute's vision, governance, and leadership is there. Okay. So first we'll be having the institute's vision and mission, like we had NACTA vision and mission. Then what sort of management is being looked into, decentralization, and whether the power is only a center of power is there, or it is catered down from the line, from the management to the principal to the faculties to the staff. Okay, everyone has some or the other decision making power over there. Then we can have some strategic and perspective plan on how the institute wants to grow or how the university wants to grow. Okay, so means for this vision, what is the strategic and the perspective plan? Procedures and HR policies. So with the HR policies, the welfare policies, the recruitment policies, the service rules, everything's okay. How our institute is functioning, that entire standard operating procedure needs to be there. So how the funds are mobilized, how for this parts to be effective, how the release of funds are there, and how you are optimally utilizing it. What are the various training opportunities, okay, so this is connected again with this, how are the various training opportunities given to the teaching and non-teaching, and whether you're paying any, you're giving any financial support for that, okay. Then in the area of e-governance, okay, expenditure part will also come here. Whether you're having any e-governance means how you have having your admission section being managed, whether you're giving an e-portal for the students' fees, students' admission, how your results are being managed, all those. So again, grants, whether you're receiving from any government or non-government bodies. So it's mainly philanthropic activity over here. This is cannot be mentioned in criteria 3. Then what are the various financial audits that is happening, okay, and then have you set up your IQAC, and what are the various quality initiatives that they have taken for the maintenance of those and the upgradation of the quality initiatives. And then for criteria 7, institutional values and best practices, okay, this they look into an overall part, okay, where you have an idea about the various gender equity initiatives, whether you have taken any there. Then green campus initiative, okay, so what sort of green means green audit you are having, okay, whether you are having a biodiversity in your campus, so all those, whether you laid down a code of conduct for your faculties, for your staff, for your students, okay, means a rule book, handbook kind of thing is there. Then one of the most important part you can see here is the institutional distinctiveness, okay, how your institution is distinctive from the other institutes. For the green campus initiative, along with it, whether you're having any alternate sources of energy, okay, whether you're having a solar cell, okay, laid down, and how much you're conserving. So green, how you're going into environment, energy audit, you're doing waste disposal, national and means communal harmony, festivals, celebrations, everything is being taken taken care of in this criteria. Waste management, whether you're doing it or not. Facilities you're giving for the specially able students or not. Then for constitutional obligations, what are the fundamental rights, duties of a student, of a faculty, okay, with respect to a citizen, what your rights you are having. Okay, so the tolerance, water conservation is again. Tolerance and harmony is another one. Whether you have tolerance for all the religions, whether you are celebrating those, okay. So these two are linked together. And then another important part is your best practices. You have to write down here two of the best practices, okay, which you see, which you're practicing it maybe for a period of 3 to 4 years, okay. Why did you choose that practice as your best practice? Okay, how did you implement it? What was the outcome of it? Okay, and if you're facing any challenges there, so all those things you need to write it down again in the template in the format over here. So these I had to rush in the end. Okay, I overshoot it for 5 minutes. Sorry for that. So with this, I'd like to conclude over here. Thank you. And if you're having any questions and all, we can have a discussion maybe if someone is having anything. Over to you, Dr. Garima.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable knowledge, valuable information, ma'am. I hope this will be very fruitful for us and for our participants also. I extend my heartfelt thanks for your inputs for the accreditation support. Now I request participants to put their queries, if any. Participants are requested to put their query.
Okay, so I think no questions there.
No questions are there, ma'am. I'm also thinking so.
Good.
Ma'am, with your permission,
Okay,
can I
thank you.
move further in the program?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
all of you.
ma'am. Thank you. Now, moving further to the program, I'm taking this opportunity to invite Dr. Pooja Rai Pradhan to deliberate on NAC accreditation, relevance, and campus preparation. Dr. Pooja Rai Pradhan is leader with difference. She she mentored her team for various accreditation and quality improvement initiatives. I will just invite Dr. Pooja Rai ma'am to please share her thoughts with us. Ma'am, please.
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Garima. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, and excuse me for the distracting background because I had to artificially fix it up because of some concerns, pre-Diwali concerns. So I'm sorry, so
No,
don't get
you have
distracted
no
by the
issue.
artificial background that I fixed up. And uh, a very, very warm welcome to all the participants here on this Saturday afternoon. It's about to be, 11:30, so a very, very warm welcome. I assume that most of the participants are from the ISBM University and the neighboring institutes, probably. So at the very onset, let me congratulate and thank the host institute, ISBM University, for taking up this session, which is a very, very significant step when it comes to going ahead with the accreditation, which is the no more, luxury, but it's becoming a norm and a mandatory thing for the education institutes. So definitely, when it comes to organizing such sessions, the moment you have shown your interest, the moment you've shown your commitment to it, the very first step is done, that you have shown that how committed, how serious you are about talking about the accreditation process in your campus, upgrading your faculties, making them aware, or sorting whatever concerns they have. So any which ways, I would like to thank the leadership at ISBM University, the host university who's doing that, and all the participants that have joined from other institutes and are keen on knowing the process. Yeah. So I think the 2 days must have been very enlightening for you. I was there off and on, taking time from our hectic schedules. I did have a good idea of Dr. Arundhati Chakravarti's session. She has been a very good mentor throughout, and she has led a lot of institutes in mentoring to the accreditation process. Dr. Yogesh Velankar, your first participant for yesterday, has an equally deep knowledge on outcome-based education, and Dipesh Devakaran, I was the second participant for yesterday, who would have given you a good insight about the use of technology in accreditation process and in running the campus efficiently. Now, I have no intentions to go for a very long sessions, because I understand that many of the nuances and details have been very, very in detail shared with you by Dr. Arundhati Chakravarti, as well as by Dr. Yogesh yesterday. So I would not go much into detail, but what I would talk about, and a very, very small brief that I'll share right now on slides, is a very, very small one, but how I would like to start is a psychological preparation that we need to do for campus, in the campus, before we go to for any accreditation process. How do we understand, there are so many things coming up for educational institutions that follow NEP, follow NAC, follow NBA, follow NIRF. You are supposed to be there. But we need to understand how they are very, very strongly correlated. And you take one step for NAC, and you have also covered a step for NBA, and you've also covered a step for NIRF, and you've also covered a significant step for overall your NEP and the branding and image of the institute. So the very first thing that we need to understand, that they're not very strong, fragmented activities where, every time you need to put a separate effort. Now, starting on this very formally, I would like to say the first thing that makes a lot of importance and sense is the commitment to quality, right from top leadership, top management to the bottom. So the very first thing, accreditation is not an isolated process where I am as a leader, or I am as an institutional leader, as a department leader, I'm not committed to quality, I'm not committed to the branding, I'm not committed to providing, working for outcome-based education, but somehow I want my team to get me an accreditation. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's a very, very systematic thing where, everyone in the system needs to come together. It's a teamwork, and it is like living up the quality. You need to eat, and you need to drink, you need to think, you need to adopt that quality in your life. So it's like that. You cannot say that, I will be committed to quality on paper, but I might not follow it personally when it comes to following in my lectures, doing my documents, or doing any event. So it is also a very important thing to understand that for any kind of accreditation, be it NAC and BA, or to get a very good ranking in NIRF, or to follow the NEP principles, which are wonderfully made for holistic education in our campus, we need a total commitment, and the commitment needs to come from the top. So the importance of the top institutional management, the importance of institutional leaders, the importance of department leaders, then the importance of individual, team leaders, event leaders is very important. Number one. Number two, I would also like to do away with one of the myths that people normally understand, that I've seen in various campuses, that people think that, okay, now our campus has decided to go for accreditation, which means a lot of work. No, it doesn't mean a lot of work. It means a lot of systematic work, which initially you might have to work for some time, but understand and accept it. The moment you're committed to that, you're sorted. You will have no more confusions of documentations getting from where and what. You will have no more confusion about what is expected out of an event. You will have no more confusions about why we are doing some things. These systems of training need analysis, doing the need for doing any event. What was the outcome that I had expected? What was the objective behind doing the event? And did I receive that outcome? All these things are so beautifully ingrained in your system when you will start following it. That you will become a very process-oriented and quality-oriented person individually. See, NAC or NBA or any accreditation process is a very empowering process. Understand, it empowers each and every individual. So you need to understand that when the accreditation comes to the institute, it doesn't come only to the institute. It comes to each and every individual working in the institute. You get stamped that I'm working with a NAC A grade or A double plus or whatever NAC accredited institute. That's a stamping that you receive individually. Product stamping, you understand, the quality stamping, yes. Because what happens that the entire process of accreditation is so quality conscious that it's not that it will either weed out the non-quality events and activities and people of the system, or else rather than weeding out, it is such a supportive system that it will upgrade you. You will find such a good ecosystem of support that you'll find a quality enhancement within yourself. So never have this fear that NAC is or NBA or any accreditation process, oh god, it means a lot of work. No, it doesn't mean a lot of work. It means a lot of systematic work, and one time systematic work is going to give you results for a long time. So rather I will say that when we try to do away, okay, we'll try and avoid accreditation. If it has not become mandatory, why do we? No, we must. Even if it was not mandatory, I appreciate institutes who have taken it, because they were confident about the quality they were delivering and they wanted themselves to be certified, right? It's like any any jeweler, So he says, no, I'll sell only hallmark jewelries. I'll only sell hallmark products. Why? Because I'm sure about my product and I'll get them marked and then I'll sell. Who is afraid of it? Because those people or those organizations who feel, no, we are not committed to the quality. So there's nothing too late, not being committed doesn't mean that you do not have, you have. Maybe you have not just followed that system. So what NAC or NBA is going to do is will put you in habit of following that system. So that is a very important thing. So now the first thing that I'll start with is that I'll tell you what I have just taken 7-8 highlight points of NEP, which they expect any HEI, higher institutes or any university to follow, right? And I'll show you how it is very much related to your this thing. Yeah, see. Right. So I'll start from here. It's a very short one, hardly 15 to 20 minutes, I think, but I'll just show you an idea. See, what is, here I have created a table where you'll see some of the highlights of NEP that I've taken out only relevant for the HEIs, which has been mentioned in NEP, and how they, match to the NAC curriculum. So if you are even committed to NAC, you can show your commitment to NEP. If you're committed to NBA, you can show your commitment to NEP. If you're following NEP, policies, which fits in your campus, you are anyways working for your accreditation. So I just want to tell you why, there's a very big myth that people understand, go pehle NAC karo, or then you will have to go for NBA, and then we'll have to go for NIF. No, quality is quality. So all these are quality initiatives. See, for example, the very first point, is my slide visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Okay. So, so the moment, the first point, NEP says is that HEIs are supposed, or the universities are supposed to emphasize on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning, relearning for exam. Now, this is something very clear, which is covered in, now the left side, all the things in the blocks in left side is what NEP asks for, and all the things that are on the right side is what NAC says and how it matches. So I've just created this 4-5 blocks for you to understand your commitment to NEP or your commitment to NAC or your commitment to NBA or to NRF are not put in strong silos. They are not watertight compartments. They are very porous things that you're working for NAC, you automatically work for NEP, you automatically work for NBA, right? So the first point, emphasis on conceptual understanding. They do not want you to mug up, your students to mug up and just pass the exams, right? They want conceptual understanding. Is the child able to apply the knowledge in his profession, in his society, in his life? They do not want just ki aapne rata aur aap exam pass kar gaye. See, it matches with the criteria 1 and 2 of NAC. The criteria 1 says curricular aspect, right? Curricular aspect talks about curriculum design and development, curricular planning and implementation, academic flexibility, aap kya dete hain, curriculum enrichment. is what they're talking about. How enriched is your curriculum? How good pedagogies you are following? How are you ensuring that it's not a rote knowledge but a application-based knowledge? So if you follow this point of NEP, your criteria 1 and 2 is being covered, right? It matches with your criteria 1 and 2. Let's go to the next point. Multidisciplinary holistic education is what is a very, very strong point of NEP. Multidisciplinary holistic education, and they want to make it inclusive. Education should be inclusive according to them, right? So inclusive of sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, sports, ensuring the unity and integrity of all the knowledge. They do not want knowledge to run in strong watertight compartments. They know that there's a lot of things that a science student can learn from humanities, a lot of things that a humanities or arts student can learn from science. Maybe I'm a very good art student, but I lack scientific temper. And if arts and humanities students get scientific temper that they can learn from the sciences, imagine how beautiful researches they will do, right? So this is what they're trying to say. If I'm a hardcore science student and I have a good project which is applicable for the social sciences, so I need to have a basic understanding of psychology and sociology of a place, the culture of the place, right? So they know that the more multidisciplinary and holistic education you will make, the more value will be added to those courses, and holistic development and of knowledge and will come forth, leading to a better individual, better society, and a more enriched nation or a culture, you can say, right? So this multidisciplinary and holistic education matches with criteria 5 and 3. Criteria 5 talks about student support and progression. So student support and progression has student support, aap kya de rahe, progression, student participation in activities, and alumni engagement. So they talk about all these helps, events and activities 5.3 that talks about, right? Criteria 5.3 talks about student participation and the various activities that you have. And there are other criteria also. This is very, moderately matched. I can map with more criteria. I just give you an example. Criteria 3, I suppose, talks about research, innovation, extension. So, it talks about promotion of research and facilities, resource mobilization for research, innovation ecosystem aapne kaisa diya hai. Do you have such systems where, you have a combined group of arts and science or humanities students to work on a project, right? Extension activities aapke kaise hain? Because these extension activities give a lot of multidisciplinary and holistic education to the students. What kind of collaborations you have? Do you have only hardcore technical collaborations? Do you have collaborations with NGOs? Do you have collaboration with NGOs which are working for social issues? And they also need some, inputs from sciences. So this is what they want to understand. So this, if you follow this, then your criteria 5 and 3 is taken care of. NEP also focuses on life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience, right? So this is a very big focus. If you read the whole document of NEP, you will understand that holistic education, which has all these aspects, is very, very much stressed, right? So now when you talk about life skills, where you have cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. So criteria 3 also talks about research, innovation, extension. Extension activities has a lot of teamwork and cooperation, where you learn all these skills of resilience and empathy and integrity. Then while you're working on a project, you learn all these extension, all these active skills, right? Then when you go to criteria 7 again deals with institutional values and best practices. What kind of institutional values are you committed to? What kind of values we are inculcating the student and the staff? This is what gets covered. So all the commitment of NEP that they want institutes to have on communication, cooperation, teamwork, resilience, and a lot of such things, it's just few words that have keywords that I've added, that gets covered in your criteria 7 and 3, right? Then NEP very strongly understands that faculty, this is the line that they've mentioned, that faculty is the heart of the learning process. So the heart of the learning process needs to be taken care, right? The way we take heart, how we celebrate World Hearts Day, and how every other day we have some other forum talking about keeping a heart healthy, because that is the main organ that's keeping us, active. If it's gone, we are gone. right? It doesn't stop working for a moment. So how they've just drawn a simile that how heart is important for a human organ. Similarly, faculty is the heart of the entire learning and teaching process, right? So their recruitment, their continuous professional development, their positive working environment and service conditions are given stress by NEP, right? Now, the same things, if you see, they get reflected in criteria 6, 4, and 2 of NAC, right? Criteria 2 talks about teaching, learning, and evaluation. There they talk about teaching learning process, teacher kit profile and quality, right? How are you doing recruitment of quality faculties? Then the way you have student satisfaction survey. Similarly, you also have, what kind of facilities that we give to the faculties. Then the point number 4, that is infrastructure. In infrastructure, you have physical facilities. So what kind of facilities are given to your faculties, what kind of reading rooms they have, those who are pursuing researchers, what kind of sitting areas they have, what kind of recreational facilities that faculties have. This is all what they see, and they really get impressed to a peer team when they see that these kind of facilities are really given, extended to the faculties. Right. Then criteria 6 talks about governance, leadership, and management, where you have 6.3, you have faculty empowerment strategies. How have you empowered your faculties? What are the various, welfare measures that you've taken for your faculty? What are the various ecosystems that you've given for the professional development of the faculty? Right, for how finances are given for that, how finance is allocated for faculty welfare and development. So the moment you see this point of NEP, which talks about faculty being the heart of the organ, you remember criteria 6, 4, and 2 of NAC. So again, I'm stressing you the same thing, and I can map the same criteria with the same point of NEP with a criteria of NBA, and I can also map this with one criteria of one of the 5 parameters you have for NIRF, and I can put it there also. So the whole idea behind giving you this brief is that you understand that if you're committed to NEP, you're committed to NAC, NBA, and NIRF. You're committed to NAC, you will be automatically committed to any of these, right? Then NEP talks about continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment, right? They talk about this. See, left side is all what NEP is talking. So any NAC expert here will understand, okay, this sounds like NAC, right? Yes, so that is what I want to say. It is all very, very similar. So the criteria 3. Criteria 3 is research, I think, right? Research, innovations, and extension. So sustained research आप किस तरह का दे रहे हैं, आप regular assessment कैसे कर रहे हैं, right? So criteria 3 talks about resource mobilization for research, what sustainable environment you're going for research, innovation ecosystem आपका कैसा है, which is 3.3. So research public. Hello, am I audible to all? Because it was echoing. Dr.
Yes,
Garima?
ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
thank you. So your sustained research, and what kind of research publication awards, but what are your HR policies? How well you're taking care of your faculties? Consultancy activities are your faculties doing, right? So this is what they talk about. Then even criteria 2, you must be knowing it's teaching